I guess I could call it the light of hair. So I'm working on this one. This is what I'm working on now. Um, a strand for all seasons. When I was born, my hair was strawberry downy. Childhood, locks and ringlets were popular too. In my teens, hair was ironed, long and red. At 20, I sported a hard-edged buzz. 30s were short and spiked. 40s and 50s, my dew remained in constant flux. 60s to 70s, I began to favor a long ponytail. Partway to 80, I have noticed my less tamed hair insist on doing its own multi-textured, fine, wiry, and static thing. Each day I battle with obstinate tresses. Seldom are there good hair days. Most often I surrender to this ongoing hair war. Begrudgingly, I have made peace with Rockin' and Einstein do, as do many senior citizens who, along with a frown, sport the Musk style too. And the next one is, let's get it here, a little celebrating Christmas. And this one is Santa Sonnet. He comes in the wee of Christmas morn, when all are asleep and counting their sheep. Across rooftops and lawns, deer hooves and horns, frolic, pronk, and play, take one giant leap. And with a ho, 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 leading the way, his beard of white and cap of red crochet, Santa Claus rides on his magical sleigh, talking to reindeer in language of neigh. Then it's down the chimney on every block, with a sack full of gifts for girls and boys, trucks, trains, dolls, smartphones, candy canes, and toys. All are stuffed in many colorful socks, spreading love and joy. Chris goes on his way, vowing to return one more Christmas day.
Thank you so much, Rusty. What a delightful second poem. And I love your
Greetings, dear global locals. This is Spoken World Online, week number 299, December 16, 2025, and theme today of light and dark. I'm going to reverse them. I'll do the dark first, and then we'll move towards the light. And this first piece is by Bob Dylan. It's all right, Ma. I'm only bleeding. Darkness at the break of noon. Shadows, even the silver spoon, the handmade blade, the child's balloon eclipses both the sun and moon. To understand, you know too soon. There is no sense in trying. Pointed threats they bluff with scorn. Suicide remarks are torn from the fool's gold mouthpiece. The hollow horn plays wasted words, proves to warn that he not busy being born is busy dying. Temptation's page flies out the door. You follow, find yourself at war. Watch waterfalls of pity roar. You feel to moan, but unlike before, you discover that you'd just be one more person crying. So don't fear if you hear a foreign sound to your ear. It's all right, Ma. I'm only sighing. As some warn victory, some downfall, private reasons, great or small, can be seen in the eyes of those that call to make all that should be killed to crawl, while others say don't hate nothing at all. except hatred. Disillusioned words like bullets bark as human gods aim for their mark, make everything from toy guns that spark to flesh-colored Christs that glow in the dark. It's easy to see without looking too far that not much is really sacred. While preachers preach of evil fates, teachers teach that knowledge weights can lead to $100 plates. Goodness hides behind its gates. But even the President of the United States sometimes must have to stand naked. And though the rules of the road have been lodged, it's only people's games that you got to dodge. And it's all right, Ma. I can make it. Advertising signs, they con you into thinking you're the one that can do what's never been done, that can win what's never been won. Meantime, life outside goes on all around you. You lose yourself, you reappear, you suddenly find you got nothing to fear. Alone you stand with nobody near, when a trembling, distant voice, unclear, startles your sleeping ears to hear that somebody thinks they really found you. A question in your nerves is lit, yet you know there is no answer fit to satisfy, ensure you not to quit, to keep it in your mind and not forget that it is not he or she or them or it that you belong to. Although the masters make the rules for the wise men and the fools, I got nothing, Ma, to live up to. For them that must obey authority that they do not respect in any degree, who despise their jobs, their destinies, speak jealously of them that are free, cultivate their flowers to be nothing more than something they invest in. While some on principles baptized to strict party platform ties, social clubs in drag disguise, outsiders they can freely criticize, tell nothing except who to idolize, and then say, God bless him. While one who sings with his tongue on fire gargles in the rat race choir, bent out of shape from society's pliers, cares not to come up any higher, but rather get you down in the hole that he's in. But I mean no harm, nor put fault on anyone that lives in a vault. But it's all right, Ma, if I can't please him. Old lady judges watch people in pairs, limited in sex, they dare to push fake morals, insult and stare. While money doesn't talk, it swears. Obscenity, who really cares? Propaganda, all is phony. While them that defend what they cannot see, with a killer's pride, security, it blows the minds most bitterly for them that think death's honesty won't fall upon them naturally. Life sometimes must get lonely. My eyes collide head on with stuffed graveyards, false gods I scuff at pettiness, which plays so rough, walk upside down inside handcuffs, kick my legs to crash it off, say, okay, I have had enough. What else can you show me? And if my thought dreams could be seen, they'd probably put my head in a guillotine. But it's all right, Ma. It's life, and life only. And now we're coming towards the ebb of our season, and we're going to then return towards the light. And so here is my winter solstice poem. Shortest day of the year is nearly here. Rain, fuzzy, darkening gray, quilting San Francisco Bay. Christmas shopping crowds in quiet overcoats, filling the roads, lighted storefronts twinkling in the streets, smells of roasting foods on the breeze. Head on home to bundle in a small Yuletide room with a small and warming drink, a quiet candle flame, and a small pen in a book. Long night gathers on this, the northern earth, gathers all to semi-hibernatory sleep. Thank you.
So this is a new one, and yeah, I used to live in the desert, and where I lived there was a waterfall, which of course there wasn't water in it a lot. This is called Waterfall in the Desert. It takes a delicacy of movement, a subtle stance to be where you are, where you need to be. Once given, twice shy, you move onward, although the foot wants to be, stay in the mud, washed by the rains from where you come and are going, and coming home at the same time, alone but together, joined, the two of you, Hydra, the giver, Hydra, the taker, joined in love and to the heavens, grounded in dirt you travel. Before leaving, you dig the dirt at the waterfall that runs dry in this desert, unless it rains. The dirt from this place, the sacred that you know so well, you put in the container, pack it in your bags, reserve some for a thin glass vial, a piece of cork to top it that you take with you and always travel with this, the desert in your pocket. And then this is a poem from my book. Book is called Border Songs, A House Without Walls, and Love Poems to Mexico. This one's called Plenty. Inscribed by language, tattooed by love, the pause deepens and waits. Where is the promised freedom, the release? The cat's paw behind the barred window, tentative, checks for signs out. Cautious, still, yet not broken or gone, the rain signals the relief. It chooses another escape and waiting, checking the sky for signs of rain, scouring the clouds for symbols, this and that. What meaning the color red assigns and banishes all, replaced by thoughtless blue. Is there the moment of going, the moment sunk like a stone in the well of abject stain? Why the feet ground like roots growing down, infiltrate the soil, cling and cloying, see the four directions and travel underground? Perhaps I travel that way and not in the sky. Above, water sinuous as a root system, growing underground, travel deep and far, forgiving the earth, which softens and allows my passage. The root system seeking water, the pool of resistance, that deep the well of souls like you, the sisters smiling, the aunties, the hands that work sure and steady, the face deep, the ocean of kindness, the faces of familiars who say, we know, traveling to the well to meet you. Who am I to know, to say I know, that we all seek light is enough? And so I'm going to read this one. This one's called Angels in Exile. Reason exiles the angels. Reason exists to make the angels cry. Before the veil of reason dropped upon us all, the dark curtains of night dividing us from the light was mystery. Things undone, things not said, things forgotten, timeless dreams remembered. I remember. I am a little bird, circling, beating at your chest, hard, hard, sometimes to draw your blood, to get your attention. Please soften to me. I am pliant. I am lovely. I circle, crying. Please soften to me. The times are black, the times are hard, little time for dreaming. And who is that with the voice that drones on and on, so that I hold my ears to block the sound of it? I need the quiet. I need the dough. I bake the bread. I am tireless, even in my sleep, baking the bread of my dreams. I hear no voices and sleep deeply. In these black times, to save yourself, you must sleep without dreams and hear only the sound of the angel's wings beating in your ears, like the sound of your mother's heart above you. You must guard against the theft. The thief in the night is waiting for you to sleep and to steal your dreams as he hides in the juniper's long shadows on nights the moon is full, until you fall heavy and succumb to your sleep. He is not afraid and sleeps with the habit of rarefied perfection, nothing to steal the obscure excess of want, the heavy pressure of nothing, the studied absence of desire under the trees, waiting for you to succumb to his nothingness. The angels high above see him and weep. He does not believe in the rigor of his reasoned mind. He does not believe. In my mind in the night, I see him running from one shadow, a dark gumdrop, a sentinel, absent of light, to another cast by the juniper. Through the day I travel, quiet, careful that no one sees me. I remain hidden and not shining in the habit of angels during the day. How lovely I am in my mystery with no one seeing me, tireless and full of good energy and cheer. I save all weeping for the night on my long way home. My mind is pliant and open and full. I weep with the angels. Magic is on the wing, a gentle whisper, secret as the song of my mother's heart beating above me. Magic enters into our sleep and weaves its soft web in and through the jagged places that in the morning are soft and pliant. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Leslie.
Her home. In the boat, she tells the angel to take her across the salty waves of wet sounds. A battle of words. Her home, a memory hidden in her mind. She feels like a black jackdaw hovering over the frozen white. Her gothic smile, eyes full of fear, the fear of vindictiveness, a fear of that ill will, which can become a huge force, bigger than any magnetic storm. A storm that destroys everything in its path. Blood-stained tears, tensioned, herpetic eyes, wretchedness crawls into her heart. Heavy-hearted, her staminal thinking crosses across all the fiendish plots to dwell in her last silent sagacity near one or two friendly Arctic old birches. She is a future fossil in the light, a fossil no longer cogitating about the existence of the sun. Thank you for listening.
And I have another one.
because it is Christmas. Cintishi poem for the heaven strings. A frozen time brings hush and heavy snow to fall over the silver fir. To love God, to be snowed up while singing hymns of faith. No bees to fly on high, forgotten falls, sins to be forgiven, and any bush, a snow devil around. Birds' eyes and curves, memories, and the tree trunk, love, heart. Angels with wings, the forest green that needs to grow, but is cut down by the blades. To celebrate, to die, and to revive. The wooden cross, the crucifixion, disembodied white spirits. These silences of things and sacred songs to touch the core of the heavens, the stars, and the infinite. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Marietta. I'll have to quote a bit of that first poem, which really struck me with its beauty and kind of the hush of sacred quality. Uh, in the boat, she tells the angel to take her across the salty waves of wet sounds, a battle of words, her home, a memory hidden in her mind, and onward. It's just so sublime and so well woven together. It was great to see it, through the screen share. That really helped quite a lot. So wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so we go to
Thank you.
Mark Parker. You're welcome. Otherwise known as Parquillian, and then we have Catalin, Rick, and myself. So, Martin, go ahead.
Thank you so much, David, and everybody in the room here today. Got a holiday one. I'm thinking about cooking some stuff this weekend to get ready for the holidays. So I thought I'd repeat this one. I think I've read a couple years in the past around this time of year. This is called, I've tweaked it a little bit this year. This is called Holiday Relish. As seasonal displays of lights appear, the lobby of my apartment exudes the scent of mulling cider and spice that take me back to memories of youth, of drinking juice from orchards nearby and making cranberry relish raw. We'd grind it by hand this time of year with oranges added, peel and all. In a metal food mill my parents used that hid in the back of our pantry shelf. But since they've lost interest in turning the crank, I end up making it by myself, sorting the berries and filling the chute. And now I use a plastic mill. I find the taste is still worth the work to help me through this season of chill. So I wrote that 4 years ago, and in the interim, I've gotten a blood test that gave me some interesting news. So I've written this called Addendum, The Cranberries React. But maybe the cranberries feel their abuse being crushed through the little holes of that mill. For just the other day, I learned a fact that's a bit of a bitter pill. It turns out one food that affects my blood most, those poor little cranberries. So tradition is toast. Thank you very much, everyone. I'll put my usual links in the chat, and I finally have here. Ooh, let's see if you can see it. Improvs in Black and White, the PGN's anthology for this year is still available. I'll put a link for that. And I've got a calendar out. If anybody still does paper calendars, I can put the link in the chat so you can get one of those if you want. It has several of my animal designs on it. Thank you again, everyone.
That's awesome. And I couldn't think of a gift more lovely to get a poet, perhaps as Martin's art made of words. It's sublime. I love your seasonal displays of light that appear, and you're kind of painting in light and dark the scene as the holiday approaches, holidays, and then you talk about the cranberry and other flavors, and we're right with you. It's like a sensory walk, through those times. So well done. And okay, so we go to Caroline and then Avacha and Rick and I. So Caroline, go ahead. Let Rick know if you want recording.
Yes, please. And let's read a poem I don't read very often. A little tear for the road. I sat on the bench facing the statue, exhausted, crushed by the weight of grief, and I wept. A woman sat down. I turned my head. I didn't want her to see my tears. I looked up and began to read litanies there on the wall. 43 names in letters of blood, 10 columns, the width of a chapel. 430 names, sometimes two or three times the same, with an initial, a rank for some, to the children of the parish who died for France. 1914, 1918. For each name, a mother, sister or fiancé, uncle or aunt, grandfather or grandmother, neighbor, father. They say there's nothing harder to bear than the loss of a child. And here I am in tears on the bench, staring at the wall and its bloody letters, all those names, litanies, so many inexpressible, inconsolable sorrows, on which my tears fall. Yet, they found the strength not to collapse, to keep on rising, to keep on living. Has this virgin and child always been the virgin of consolation, or did she become one? Our Lady standing in adversity, and me on this bench in tears, looking at the wall, sobbing in tears, but not so lonely as when I arrived. Sorrows as violent as mine, the seeds of hatred and prayer, so light, so frail in the storm, like a handkerchief of peace, the little flames of the night lights at the statue's feet, calm, oscillating, luminous, keeping darkness at bay with their simple glow, a prayer to light and hatred. In Argentina we console anger, so I laid mine at the statue's feet. Then I lit mine with a little flame and said a prayer, and I wept for them to get down in their tender years without having had time to see their hair turn white, grow up the children that died without having had time to make. I cried and thanked them for reminding me then how beautiful life is too, and how precious it is to take the time to love and not to take revenge. And that's easy to say and not always to do. So I said the prayer again and cried a little more, a little tear, for the road. That was the first one. This one, quite short. A trilingual reading. En attendant l'aube, waiting for sunrise. Solo un caballo azul y una madrugada. Seulement un cheval bleu et une aube. Only a blue horse and a dawn. Federico García Lorca, Nocturno del Hueco, en Poema del Cantejondo. J'ai refermé mon livre. I closed my book. Cerré mi libro. J'ai éteint la radio. I shut off the radio. Apagué la radio. J'ai éteint la lumière. I shut down the light. Apagué la luz. J'ai ouvert les volets. I opened the curtains. Abrí las persianas. Et j'ai laissé rentrer la nuit. And I let her enter the night. Y dejé entrar la noche. Dans la cuisine, in the kitchen, en la cocina. Je ventile la vapeur. I ventilate the vap. Ventilo el vapor. À grands coups d'éventail. With strong fan strokes. A gran golpes de abanico. En attendant l'aube. Waiting for sunrise. Esperando la madrugada. Je savoure l'heure bleue. I savoure the blue hour. Disfruto de la hora azul. L'étoile, the star, la estrella, par-dessus le toit. Upon the rooftop, por encima el techo. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for whispering such a delightful stream of verses. I love and dear Richard, dear all my friends in the world. Today is holiday, the holiday of the light, and I wrote something. Yes. Which minute? Yes. As a coin. The horses. The horses ask my heart, what will I sing for them? The horses step on the way to look about my way. Right. Will I go into the future or stay in past? My heart answer, I advance to the light of the sky. And second, this I read primarily in Hebrew and after in English. יצחק כהן. הנה בימים של אופל, התקווה נעולה
בתוך הבור. הנה רוח מנדנדת רוחי לטלטל את נפשי. קום לך אל היער השחור, מול תת המעגל, מאכל לפראים. האר עיניך למען יציץ אור בשחק עבור הדורות הבאים. And some translation. Behold, you are in the darkness day. The hope is close in the hole. Behold, the wind throwing my mind to stress my soul. Go to the black forest opposite the circle of the vandals. Light in front your eyes to the light can come in to the generation. And another, yes, this is the poem I wrote today. I start in Hebrew and after in English. בבוקר שאלה הסירנה, מדוע אני עוצם עיניים? מדוע אין נפשי נוחה עם החושך שנפל עלינו? עיני הסגורה ענתה לה, אני רואה צעירים אשר עיניהם עצומות. פתע באו מוזות של תקווה אשר פקחו את עיניי, שפרחו מאהבה לאור יקרות. עכשיו באנגלית, in English, some translation because I wrote it today and a special translator. In the morning, the siren asked me why I close my eyes, why my mind don't love the darkness that came. My eyes answered. I saw the young people and his eyes closed. Suddenly, the muse of hope came and opened my eyes and give me bright eyes of hope. Thank you, Heidi Cohen. Israel. And happy Hanukkah to all my friends in the world. And happy Christmas to all my friends in the world. God bless you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
God bless you and happy Hanukkah to you. I love the way you talk about, you know, the world and earth and what's going on in different places. And then you have this epiphany where suddenly the news of hope. And it's always this dawning of peace and hope in your poetry. I really adore it. So thank you very much. And
Yeah,
we've had, absolutely, we had somebody just join us, Jane Spoken Word. Were you wanting to perform or I see your uh, placeholder there. And by the way, Jane, Diane Murray Ward read some of your work earlier. Okay, yes. So, Jane, are you ready now, or do you want to go after Rick?
I can go now. I'm ready.
Okay, great.
Cool. Thank you for having me. It's good to see you people. This is a piece that was accepted by the National Beat Foundation, and it's called Groovin'. Working that groove, that rhythm feeds my soul. I'm feeling like the music is gone in circular beats, no 3/4 time. To shine my words with wonder, to shake my world's thunder. Give me that bass down and dirty. Percuss my percussion with nitty gritty. That boom bap rhythm rise me to my feet. Syncopated time, synchronized offbeat, pulsing the bottom heat. Hypnotized by that four on the floor, four on the floor, pulling syncopated rhythmic patterns, free flowing my flow, my flow. My flow, don't you know I funk my time? Modulate my speech, emphasize, improvise, not noise, just twisted lines. Rumbling through my bones, blessing vocal cords, an improvised hum, a syncopated drum. Jazz my will to swing my vocal sword, wail my word. Do you feel it? Do you feel it? Ancestral beats rise up in your chest, stirring your rest, testing your resist, where you come from, who you be. You dig, you be sound, deep enough to weep the moon, sweet enough to kiss the sun, with magic from 12-bar blues, from time-free tunes to feed my mood. Let it ring, let it sing, let it work that groove. Peace, yo. Thank you so much.
Peace to you, Jane. I'm so glad you came. Shine my words with thunder. Maybe I'm not sure if I got two lines together there. I was trying so fast to write down. Um, Pulling syncopated rhythmic patterns, such music to what you do. You talk about, wail my words. Do you feel it? Just confront the audience right there. Do you feel it? Great work and congratulations on your book.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I spent a bit of time away from the web. I just had to get to step back from all the electronic world. But I missed you guys. And then Diane told me that she was going on today. And so here I am. It's nice to see you all.
Awesome to have you here. Indeed. Okay, and so Rick, go right ahead, and I guess you must record yourself.
Yes, I've asked myself about that time and time again, and I'm just going to go ahead and do it. It's the season of holidays, the celebration of feasts for all kinds of wonderful reasons in so many different flavors. So I thought I'd bring you three little holiday gifts, a poem called These Three Holidays. I'll describe that you might spy when traipsing there upon the earth or just wandering by. As the holiday season approaches, sometimes in donkey carts, sometimes in coaches, one might spy with your little eye these most splendid seasonal celebrations, not exactly anywhere, but in some nascent stations. The Krampus celebration you might spot if you to mighty Europa might hop, where a gigantic horned figure you could spot if you were careless and heedless of propriety wherever and whenever you shopped and stopped. For just the good little kiddies get their rewards. For the others, it seems they'll get the sword. When Krampus tramps and humps and stomps there on the bad little kiddies, they end up in the dumps, and on them he chomps. This horned figure gets no rest. He finds out with zest, but there the baddies get his best. For just as the good kids get their rewards, for the other ones, no doubt you've heard, the baddies get theirs at the point of sword. And 'cause snarling, barreling Krampus really dares and cares, sometimes uses snares. The holiday of radishes. On the 23rd of December, you might spy a special splendid celebration might just meet your eye. You'd find a miniature village on a herd of special llamas spread out before you in miniature, all carved to boot from that colorful root and presented there for their mamas. The radish, you might say, has its own special day, but you'd be wrong should you sing that song, for the radish, not the cabbage, has instead its night, that you might as well correct yourself, you silly, and get it right. But the night of the radishes is pure delight. You'll find there on display entire villages carved from a single radish. You might see a tiny rabbi there, carved in a radish, heroically singing Kaddish. You might spot a plot from Hamlet on one side with Juliet on her balcony as her karma collides with that young Romeo, speckled and spotted there where he's potted on this so pungent and colorful root, arrayed and displayed on the festive eve, I do believe. On another radish, you might find the ample behind of some genuine ingenue's retinue reclining, taking the sun or the shade, if you will, on this eventide celebration, where you will, if you find the time, on haunted herds of hamsters carved from radishes, horses or mules, don't get these confused, all carved on large from radishes that you might just find on display, and then all over swamped in salad dressing on the very next day. And then last, I leave you the Galway Goat Day. Each year in December, you'll find in Galway, a Swedish town not anywhere near Galway, they build each year a gigantic goat, a very special species there, so I say you must take note. They build each year from scented sweet hay in bundles. They're a giant goat. And if the Galway goat was what you saw, all decked in red ribbons and made of sweet straw, you might be among those who place a bet upon the heated fate of where the Galway goat got up to yet. It seems that each year its doubly dubious fate is quite contagiously devolved, you might state. Once the problem solved, there are those who find in this mischievous sport a chance that sets their minds to spark, and for them, on a lark, they'll just set it ablaze. Sometimes it's burnt quite fast, maybe barely only lasts a few days, lost in the smoky barbecued haze. Some say for sport, or others to protest, but in the end, either way, it's just ashes that are left. So I say to Galway, with its suspicious or even malicious fiery goat, I say to Galway, humanity is fickle, son. Please take note, or you too may your seasonal be reasonable. Please extend your unsettled hosting to support such Yuletide pranks as the smoky goaty doting, without police blotters, lest the plotters snort. In short, happy holidays.
Oh my God. Happy Krampus. Happy Festivus. Happy Christmas. Happy everything. Happy Hanukkah. I love your celebration. And I'm trying to think of, like, Krampus, isn't there you get rocks in your stocking or some kind of there's a strange.
Laura could probably tell us what's happening these days in Austria, but I just heard a report about it, and they take switches to you, and there's complaints from the older folks that they just don't hit like they used to. So there you go.
God. Okay.
The good old days.
Yes, indeed.
You can't beat them.
Literally. Okay. So I'll finish off the show with a a recent short story, not as long as last week's story, a shorter short story. Okay, sharing screen, and here we go. Uh, everything here is on a timer. Careful. Everything here is on a timer. Oh, it sounds familiar. I got that from a dream, and indeed, everything is on a timer. Nothing lasts. Martin Albright, poet and dreamer, loved to listen to Allen Ginsberg reading aloud his wild and profound poem, Howl. It seemed to hold an electric current running through its words. Hearing the entire poem at once always lit the creative fire he needed to warm his inspiration. Then his soul could spin a spider web of charged words. One of the fruits of this growth process was the poem called Cinnamon Winter, Ginger Spring, Sugar Summer, Chocolate Autumn. It had taken years to compose the title alone. This is true. But after taking in Howell's spirit medicine at midnight, his own poem spun its strings of crazy jazz beat lyrical language. 2 full pages rolled out from within him. One of the parts of Howl that always spawned a smile was about the speaker's literary friends who threw their watches off the roof to cast their ballot for eternity outside of time, and alarm clocks fell on their heads every day for the next decade. I can totally relate to that. Martin knew this feeling well and said in his own homespun poem, I hung on to ellipses of empty early hours, steering the boat of my bed until it crashed into the absolute madness of another morning, half dead with dread of alarm clock, red electric tick-tock terror of having to be somewhere at some serious, accurate minute. I shudder at the thought. Martin often felt he'd fallen behind, racing crazily to catch up with time. He hated to run late, but always found a way to conjure up that shadowy fear feeling. In a brief lightning dream, he once heard, careful, everything here is on a timer. Maxim asked for contemplation. If everything was on a timer, it could never last forever. A reminder that all things which were born will die. A chronological series of endings, sparing nothing, including him. Another dream of his asked, when is the end of endings? When is the end of ending? Well, Martin realized there was no end to endings, no end to ending. That thought struck him hard. He wondered why it was so heavy and depressing to know anything in this life of loss after loss. Like his guide and greatest teacher, the French poet Paul Valéry, Martin liked to take a walk every evening at dusk, shaking off the spider webs of the day's events and taking in every imaginable shade of blue as twilight grew from sunshine cerulean to the velvet violet curtain of nightfall. All his favorite colors were in the family of blues. Along the long hill of Rue de Boulanger, passing through the places where he'd been followed by a camera for the film Flaneurs, Street Rambles, writing a poem as he went, there was an intense sensation of sacredness inside and all around him. As he reached the bottom of the hill where the Seine can be seen, he saw the circular concrete wall of Radio France, and right before his eyes, an iridescent blue pearl made of twilight light appeared. It vanished as fast as it had shown itself. He observed that there was no sense of bliss within him, but he remembered that what his guru said had about that exact flash vision, just the darshan, the holy moment of true seeing and being seen by the truth is enough. You don't need to have a flood of emotions. There was something electric in the air. He did not know what it was. Martin continued to head home on the same path as French poet Guillaume Apollinaire towards and over Pont Mirabeau, a quaint green bridge flanked by 4 bronze statues which symbolize river life, such as navigation and abundance. The legendary bridge over the Seine connects the 16th to the 15th arrondissement, or district within the city of Paris. Again, he felt the air around him was charged with divine vibrations. And as he crossed over the gorgeous bridge, seagulls wheeling over the water, he saw that same blue pearl flash and fade before him. He knew that such a vision is one sought by yogis for a lifetime, considering it to be the supreme spiritual experience. Martin usually saw the blue pearl, the divine light within every human being, during meditation. Now it seemed to be following him home. He remembered his dream about everything being on a timer. At any moment, the clock he carried in his chest could stop ticking. He realized he should live every moment as if it were his last. Then he might see more and be more. As he reached the other end of the bridge, the electric air was filled with the overwhelming scent of roses, no matter how far he walked. With the air wearing its finest and most impossible perfume, Martin realized he needed to wake up and live life now, always now. If everything was on a timer, it ticked outside the now. Living fully, he could finally stop time. The ending of the poem he wrote while being filmed came to mind. A silver shiver shakes my spine. Silence waits for its chosen time. Right. Thanks everybody. Thanks everybody very much for listening, for being here, for sharing the holiday cheer and the Krampus stones, or many shades of holiday goodness. Thank you so much to Rick for your incredible list help, which I can't even thank you enough for. I can't imagine the craziness it used to cause for me while doing everything else. Thanks to everyone who got a coffee for me. It's very much appreciated. Thanks to Rorschach for your often holding and hosting the show and chronicling and all of the stuff you do too. And thank you for featuring everybody. I hope to see you soon. Much love. And hey, I'll be back.
Next Tuesday, big party. Right
Yes.
here.
Yes, it's
300 weeks.
episode 300 next week. Wow.
It was a brilliant show today, everybody.